store for you. Brought to you by Gary Shaw Productions in association with Tony Holden Productions and Showtime. At this time, we present the first of our featured attractions. It is sanctioned by the IBF President Marion Muhammad, Supervisor Tim Lukenhoff, along with the Missouri Office of Athletics. Introducing to you at this time are three judges scoring this bout from ringside. From Moose, Germany, we have Arthur Ellenson. From St. Paul, Minnesota, Denny Nelson. And from St. Louis, Missouri, Crystal Wright. Introducing our third man to the ring, the referee in charge of this bout from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Ernest Sharif. All right, fans, here we go. 12 rounds of boxing scheduled for the IBF Super Middleweight Title Eliminator. Introducing to you first on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing blue trunks with white trim, hailing from Dnipropetrovsk in the Ukraine. He weighed in at 167 pounds. He is undefeated with a record of 15 wins, no losses, 8 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the WBA International Super Middleweight Champion, ranked number 9 in the world by the IBF, introducing the undefeated Vitali Tsypko. And his opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the red corner, this 12-round title eliminator. He is wearing white trunks with blue trim, joining us from his home in St. Petersburg, Florida. He weighed in at 167.5 pounds. He is a 2000 U.S. Olympian and is undefeated in his campaign in the ring as a professional with a record of 16 wins, no losses, 13 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the NABA, USBA, and WBC Continental America's Super Middleweight Champion, introducing the undefeated Jeff Lacy. Once again, a referee in charge, Ernest Sharif, now to give instructions.
Strip down, both. Go strip down. Take the shirts off. We usually do it after we come. That's all right. All right, fellas, you received your instructions in the dressing room. I want you to obey my command at all times and protect yourself at all times. These are the low marks here. Anything from here down is illegal. Shake hands. Do you have any questions for me, sir? Any questions, sir? Shake hands, come out box.
He's not going to get much of a response from Vitali Tsypko, who doesn't speak English. Many feel will be looking tonight at a future world champion and the powerfully built Jeff Lacy, as Lacy knows the right hand, the weapon of choice versus a lefty, so why would that matter to a fighter named Left Hook? Well, if Tsypko is smart, he won't overlook the overhand right of Lacy, which is just as potent, if not more effective, than Lacy's left hook. Ironically, he probably throws it more than the left hook. And given Tsypko's classic European stand-up style, he could be made to order for Jeff Lacy.
You know, many people are probably getting their first look at Vitali Tsypko, I'm sure. And one of the things they need to understand is, and Lacy told us this, he has never faced a lefty as a professional. He's faced people that have switched on him, but he sparred with Winky Wright, who, of course, is the very definition of a classy left-hander. So the sparring with Winky, who he knows from St. Petersburg, and the fact that he now has Winky Wright's trainer, Dan Birmingham, in his corner should help him also.
No coincidence that Lacy is fighting his first true southpaw as a pro. IBF #1 contender Syd Vanderpool of Canada is mandated to fight tonight's winner for the vacant belt. Vanderpool is a southpaw, and he is in attendance here tonight to do a little scouting. But as a guy whose stock dropped dramatically after a terrible fight with Bernard Hopkins a few years ago, resurrecting his career off a win over Tito Mendoza, the man Lacy was supposed to fight before he withdrew with the recent vision difficulty.
You know, the height and reach of Tsypko, which when you look at him in there against Lacy, you see that he's got 1-inch reach advantage and obviously a height advantage, especially because Lacy tends to crouch when he fights. It is giving Jeff Lacy some issues here in round 1. Granted, it's very early.
And Lacy, not the fastest starter, as you know, Al. Very patient at the bell, but make no mistake, prodigious power. Excellent combination puncher. Loves that double left hook or the overhand right left hook to the body combination. He does have a terrific left hook. Doesn't rely on it all the time, but does have a wide array of weapons. And against southpaws, there's a big right hand to the jaw by Lacy. Against southpaws, likes to use the lead right and then come back with a straight jab. Another lead right by Lacy.
Tsypko has never been down in his professional career, but clearly has not faced someone with the punching power of Lacy. But I'll tell you what, early on here, he took a couple of very good right hands from Lacy, and while he may have been momentarily at least stopped, he wasn't in trouble.
Yeah, like many Eastern Bloc fighters, Tsypko well skilled technically, strong amateur background, but not always the most exciting guy.
Watch the heads, watch the heads, come on.
Oh, big cloud of heads and blood.
Over the left eye, near the bridge of the nose. As the heads collided, now there's blood. I'm not sure it's exactly going into the left eye of Tsypko. It's, as you can see, cascading down the nose, and some of that's got to get into the eye and blur the vision of Tsypko.
And we believe it did come from a clash of heads, and Ernie Sharif said it came from a clash of heads.
Break, step back, please.
So here at the start, urgency for Tsypko. Translating the corner, Maxim Kiselin.
That was from a head. That was from a head. Okay. Let me see it. See it, guys. Let me see it. Here you go.
You all right?
We'll work on it. All right. Here, Vitali. Okay. No. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Take some deep breaths. Take some deep breaths. That was from a headbutt.
It was a clash of heads in round 1 that created the issue. Oh my, Lacy came straight in and the heads hit each other, and of course it was Tsypko that got the worst of that. And Bob Miller, the cut man, a very good cut man, but that's a tough cut to stop. And of course we remind you, if they have to stop this before 4 rounds is completed, it would be a technical draw.
The bad slashing cut across the left eye. And so some drama here at the outset for Vitali Tsypko on a clash of heads in the opening round. Tough break for Tsypko.
Now, if you're Tsypko, you have a real dilemma here. You don't want that cut to be a situation where you get knocked out because of it, and you can't fight a different fight than you would have fought. You have to almost accept the fact that it's better for you at a certain point to have them stop the fight and get a technical draw or a no decision, and maybe you do it again.
And now the irony here, as you just saw in the feature on Jeff Lacy, he comes off eye problems, and now it's a problem for his opponent. But Tsypko game, the southpaw standing in there despite the eye difficulty.
Tsypko certainly wasn't intimidated or awed by fighting here or fighting Jeff Lacy. We got the very, he summed this up by saying it's a pretty important fight.
Yeah, he was very low-key and downplaying the whole situation. His first fight in the United States, his first fight against a guy of Lacy's stature, was playing it cool.
And now he has more adversity to face in that,
Watch the holding. Watch the holding.
From the clash of heads.
Jeff Lacy, who is regarded as the hardest hitter on the U.S. Olympic team in 2000, not medal. Right hand that shook up Vitali Tsypko and wobbled him momentarily.
He's holding now for the first time in the fight.
Step back clean. Box!
Block everything.
Jeff Lacy very much in command. There's that whipping left hook. Fortunately for Tsypko, a glancing blow. And he is now smothering Tsypko with lefts and rights. He's dangerous with both hands, Lacy.
Break.
Minute to go, round 2, and Vitali Tsypko in trouble.
If you stand right in front of Jeff Lacy, you have issues. One of the things that I thought Tsypko needed to do in this fight was dart in and out, attack, take a little step to the left or the right, or move back, which we'd seen him do in some of the tapes that we saw. Instead, he's standing right in front of Lacy. That's a very dangerous plan.
And you can't be careless against a guy like Jeff Lacy as well. But you'd like to see Tsypko shift into a second gear from time to time. Usually doesn't deviate from the norm. And right now he's got his hands full with Jeff. Left hook Lacy. Lacy with a quick left hook up to the chin area. Tough jab too by Lacy. Trying to set up the power punch.
Break! Stop! Get that mouthpiece.
Try to hook him.
Need some water up here. Ready for water, Vitali?
I want to see his eye. Is he still bleeding actively?
No, it's not bleeding, but it's, you're the doctor?
I'm the doctor.
Okay, why don't you look at it?
He got through the muscle. He's all the way down.
Jeff Lacy, who we talk about his nickname, but the right hand is probably his best power punch. And there was that clubbing overhand right as Tsypko was wheeling to his right. And so with that awful cut on top of it all, he's getting whacked with some big punches by Jeff Lacy.
And then it's all over.
If it starts, it's going to start bleeding again.
All right, then let's call it.
Yeah, it's over.
Thank you.
All the way down. You heard that right, fight is over. Bad cut. All the way down. I can see his back shoulder. You can see it. It's down to bare skull.
All right, after a little confusion there, the referee is determining that this fight is over. You heard the crowd reaction. The crowd wasn't sure what was going on. And the referee, Ernest Sharif, slowly
down to the bone.
getting the word out that he has officially put an end to this fight.
And not an inappropriate decision. That is a huge gash. He's saying it's down to the bone. It was a clash of heads. So there's really no other way to interpret this other than to stop the fight. While Jeff Lacy is playing to the crowd, the fact of the matter is they should rule this a no decision.
Well, that is a nasty, nasty deep gash over the eye of Vitali Tsypko. No argument from Tsypko. I have a feeling he's kind of happy to have the punishment stop. The rain of terror on top of his head.
And for them, a good tactical move. You notice when they said maybe we should stop his head. Go ahead, stop it. Because, you know, their man has nothing to gain here.
So it was academic, pretty much a moot point, because Jeff Lacy in total command, dominating from the opening bell, and then the cut opens up in the opening round, making matters even worse for Vitali Tsypko. So not much emotion from the Jeff Lacy corner, as you can see.
Well, they know this should be a no decision or a technical draw. So I would think that they're not thrilled with the outcome, but it's what can they do?
Jimmy, are you ready? Yes, he is.
So this fight stopped on a cut. We'll get the official word from our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
I was going to take my time.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout has been stopped at the end of round number 2. Our referee in charge stops the contest upon advice of the ringside physician due to a severe cut above the head, above the eye of Tsypko. And ladies and gentlemen, IBF rules state that in the event of an accidental foul, the bout must go 4 rounds for it to go to the scorecards and a decision. This bout has been stopped and is a no decision.
So as you can hear Jimmy pointing out, it's a no decision, and those are the rules of the IBF. If a fight is stopped by an accidental headbutt before the end of the 4th round, the fight is ruled a no decision. After the end of the 4th, they go to the scorecard. So a visibly disappointed Jeff Lacy looking on.
you know, I think he felt like he was going to be able to do some business in this fight. Cut or no cut, he was figuring out how he could get some power punches into Vitali Tsypko. And so for Jeff Lacy, very, very disappointing. You see already a little swelling around the left eye of Lacy. You know what? That's going to happen every time he fights.
Clearwater. Sorry. Couldn't get this one, but we're going to get it. We just show slowly.
Well, the chief ringside physician, Dr. Frank Veer, examined Tsypko between rounds. The ultimate decision is in the hands of the referee, but with the recommendation of the ringside doctor. Our Steve Farhood is standing by in the ring. Steve filling in for Jim Gray tonight. So, Steve, it's all yours.
Thanks, Steve. I'm here with the referee, Ernest Sharif, and Dr. Frank Veer, who stopped the fight. Can you tell me, for starters, you identified it right away as a butt that opened the cut?
Accidental headbutt in the first round, opened the cut. And I asked the doctor for his opinion and at the end of the second round, and he thought that the cut had went all the way to the skull, so it was best to stop it.
Okay, Dr. Frank Veer, let's bring you in. What did you see after the end of the first round, and what did you see that made you stop the fight after the end of the second?
After the first round, they did have a laceration over his eye. They were able to control the bleeding in the corner. At that time, it was not through the muscle, it was only through the skin. After the following round, I was able to separate the laceration, went all the way down to the skull. I could see a ruptured blood vessel. It was going to keep bleeding. It was endangering his vision. I had to stop the fight.
All right, doctor, let's take a look at the monitor right here. All right, here's the butt. Clearly a butt.
And that's where the laceration occurred, and I imagine because I still see it was not through the muscle after that first hit, that it had further damage to it after the following.
So whatever happened in the second round made the cut that much worse?
Yes.
Okay, and there's nothing to suggest, because of the rules, the fighter can benefit by not cleaning the cut out. There's nothing to suggest that that was the case?
No, it was going to continue bleeding, and they were able to get it slowed down, but if it continued bleeding more or more profusely because of the ruptured vessels, it would endanger his vision, and that's my job.
All right, thank you, doctor. Back to Steve at ringside.
All right, Steve. We'll be talking to the fighters in just a moment. Well, Al, despite his success, is Lacy still somewhat of an unproven commodity overall, generally speaking? The opportunity has presented itself here in a rather shallow division. As you pointed out earlier, he really hasn't beaten any big names tonight. His first top 10 opponent. He's in a wide open division.
Well, and he's a victim of circumstances here tonight, because obviously this clash of heads, initiated by him, but certainly not on purpose. He was just lunging in. Creates a real log jam now, because here he was supposed to, whoever won, supposed to fight Syd Vanderpool. Now with a cut, it raises issues.
Let's get it back upstairs, Al, to Steve Farhood in the ring.
All right, I have the full cast of characters here, gentlemen. For starters, Vitali Tsypko with a translator. Can you ask Vitali, did he sense right away that he could not continue when he suffered the butt?
Когда ты получил травму, ты сразу же понял, что не можешь продолжать схватку?
Нет, я понял, что могу. Ну, в общем-то, потекла кровь, но мне показалось, что надо было ее как-то замазать, эту. Я просто не знаю.
I knew I needed to seek some medical attention, but I don't think it was severe enough for me to quit fighting.
When the fight was stopped after the second round, what was Vitali's reaction?
Когда остановили схватку, какая твоя реакция к этому?
Я не ожидал, потому что кровь мне, в принципе, не мешала, насколько она мне не мешала боксировать, поэтому я не думал, что бой остановят.
That was a medical decision. The blood was not an issue to me. I didn't really want for the fight to be stopped. I was ready to go on.
Was the blood affecting his vision?
Кровь тебе мешала драться? Закрывал глаза?
Нет, сейчас. Я в самом начале, как только появилось рассечение, я почувствовал, что кровь течет. Но потом, когда мне ее замазали, во втором раунде я уже крови не было. Я не думал, что бой остановят.
I didn't think it was that severe of an injury, and that wasn't that big of an issue to me. I don't think the round should be stopped due to that.
Would he like a second chance against Jeff Lacy?
Второй шанс тебе нужен?
Да.
Yes, of course.
All right, thank you. Let's bring in Jeff Lacy. Jeff, this was a long layoff for you. You waited a long time. This was a big fight, obviously. How disappointed are you?
Well, I'm disappointed. I'm getting ready to make the climb. This fight was for the #2 position in IBF. For me to fight Syd Vanderpool, perhaps by December. So it's, you know, it's a bit of a setback, but like I always say, things happen for a reason. You know, I just got to go back to the drawing board and, you know, give me more time with Dan Birmingham. My jab is coming off great. I'm learning a lot with being back in Florida with Dan Birmingham. So, you know, everything is going to come together, and it's going to happen in time.
Jeff, let's take a look at the monitor right here and describe what happened as we take a look here. First round action with the butt.
Well, like I said, I'm working my jab, and we both come in at the same time, and we smash heads. I mean, it's what happened.
And let's take a look in the corner.
It looked like it's a pretty deep cut, you know, but I suffered a cut too before, you know. I think it was basically, you know, he said himself he could have continued. I think that it was really getting into the fight, and I was really starting to warm up. And I heard him a couple times in clinches, and you know, it was best for him to keep it 0. You know, and they made the decision for them to stop the fight. He said it himself, he can continue, but his people, you know, with the smarter minds outside of the ring, stop the fight.
Well, the butt rule being four rounds have to be completed before they go to the cards. Obviously, in a sense, it pays off not to fix the cut, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, he also have an option. He could either beat me for 4 rounds, or you know, he could beat me for 4 rounds. I choose the option to beat him for 4 rounds. I knew if he was going to stop the fight, I got to beat him for 4 rounds. He could have chosen the same option.
Well, this was an eliminator for a spot in the IBF rankings. Obviously, that spot hasn't been filled because this was a no decision. You anticipate another fight with Tsypko, and would you take it?
You know, it depends on what my people say. It depends on what happened. It's tough for me to get guys in the ring. I can't answer that right now.
We're going to ask
Gary Shaw, the promoter.
We're going to ask the IBF to let us fight Vanderpool for the title December, and they can make Vitali Tsypko the mandatory. Whoever wins that fight can fight Vitali. He's deserving of a shot.
And if they say no, you have to fight the eliminator again?
I'll worry about that if they say no. Right now, we haven't even spoke with them.
Jeff, overall, you've had a lot of changes. Your last fight, you had the swelling in your eye. You've had blurred vision. Dan Birmingham now training. How do you feel about your progress, because you're on the verge of becoming the first 2000 U.S. Olympian to fight for a world title?
Well, like I said, when you know you're close to something, it's not going to come easy. And I'm aware of that, and you know, I leave it in the man's hands to, you know, make it happen for me, and I know it's going to happen because I'm a good guy, and he knows I'm a good guy.
And if this fight had continued, obviously you're fighting a southpaw for the first time. It took you a while to get into the fight. What do you feel would have happened?
No, I feel like I was breaking him down. I heard him, like I said, I heard him a couple times, but I didn't get hyped and wanted to just go in there and finish him, because, like you said, he's an undefeated fighter, and I wanted to go and do it with skill. With me coming into after this fight, fighting for the world title, I wanted to make sure it was calm, cool, and collected, and I dotted my I's and crossed my T's.
All right, Jeff Lacy, obviously frustrated and with good reason. Let's go back downstairs.
All right, Steve, as we have seen time and time again, nothing is easy in boxing. And Jeff left hook Lacy kind of finds himself in a boxing no man's land right now, as he wanted to get rid of Vitali Tsypko and then set his sights on IBF #1 contender Syd Vanderpool to fight for the vacant IBF super middleweight championship in December.